It's probably the greatest bit of marketing in the recent history of British music. A new rapper bursts onto the scene, rumours fly around that he's actually a Premier League footballer, his lyrics are loaded with clues about his identity, but crucially, he constantly conceals his face with a mask and never reveals his name. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dide. 2 months ago, a track entitled Intro Freestyle was the first video uploaded to a newly created YouTube channel. As well as including a number of veiled and not so veiled references to his life as a footballer within the lyrics, an accompanying website also went live where he directly claimed to be playing in the Premier League. The football pitch and the actual football branding being slightly more on the nose. Since then, Dide has released a full single and music video Thrill, another freestyle Smoke and Havoc, and the internet has frantically played the masked singer trying to pin the clues to several footballers. So who are the most likely candidates to be a Premier League footballer secretly living a double life as an emerging rapper? The name at the front of the queue is currently Eddie Nketiah. Despite his name almost being an exact anagram of Dide, you take the other D and you move it around and it kind of works, there are also several other components that seem to line up perfectly. There's a reference to his age being 23, which checks out, a claim that he recently signed a new contract that put him into the 7-figure bracket, which Nketiah did for Arsenal last year, and some coded lyrics about having the option to go down a different path or sit on the bench, and well, yep, there he is. Most compelling of all though is the prominent imagery of South London in the background of his video. Nketiah is very proudly from the Lewisham borough of South London, and the Bermondsey area, some 15 minutes down the road, features in the majority of the Thrill video. Finally, even aside from just the strong South London accent, people just think his voice sounds similar, which would admittedly be a pretty big giveaway. However, his isn't the only name in the frame, and it isn't even the only one from the current Arsenal squad. Third favourite with the bookies right now, and yes, you can actually bet on this, is Bukayo Saka. Primarily because, again, of the perceived similarities between his voice and that of Dide, Saka also ticks a lot of the same boxes laid out in the clues as Eddie Nketiah. However, he's still only 21 and not 23, signed his big contract a number of years ago, hasn't really had to go through a prolonged period of sitting on the bench, and grew up in Ealing in West London as opposed to Lewisham in the south. Another thing working against him is just the unshakable feeling amongst Arsenal fans especially that Bukayo Saka just doesn't seem like the type of person to have a secret rap career. Seemingly shy, mild-mannered and fully focused on his football, the idea that he also has a secret persona that spits absolute bars on a number of controversial topics in his downtime just feels too far-fetched for many. More realistic to some though is his former teammate Alex Iwobi. Despite being born in Lagos, Nigeria, Wobes was brought up in London and has the accent to match. He would also definitely have a reason to want to mask his identity, being as a teammate of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he will have seen firsthand the reactions some Everton fans and others had to his modelling career. You can get him at 4-1, making him the second favourite here, but almost none of the clues dotted around his music really seem to fit. But what's gotten him so low in the odds is that unlike Nketiah, Saka or anyone else you'd care to mention, Iwobi is in his spare time already an actual rapper. And not just the he does a bit of rapping on the team bus to lift the mood type, he has a full state-of-the-art music studio in the basement of his house and has been quietly making music for the last 6 years. Not to get too tinfoil hat about this, but if Iwobi did want to embark on a side gig as the Premier League's secret rapper, the fact he is already the Premier League's not secret rapper would mean he would need to litter his music with red herrings rather than actual clues. And yes, I am perfectly aware that I'm thinking way too hard about this. Elsewhere, the bookies will give you decent money on players like Ashley Young, arguably way too old, Jacob Ramsey, sounds nothing like him, and Ivan Toney, not exactly a world leader in the field of keeping off-the-field interests entirely secret. But recently, a new and quite captivating theory has taken a hold, with fans believing they have matched up a tattoo peeking out of Dide's sleeve to that of a current footballer. Former Liverpool player and current Cardiff City star, Shea Ojo. While all the rest of the clues are very hit and miss, he's slightly older than 23 but did grow up in London, the discovery of this diamond tattoo on his wrist does appear to be the first concrete bit of evidence to date. However, the imagery accompanying these theories isn't exactly crystal clear, so take that one with as big a pinch of salt as you like. Ojo's a fascinating candidate though, given that the marketing and interest surrounding Dide is that he is a current Premier League player. Cardiff currently being in the Championship means that this claim and a number of the other clues dotted around the lyrics would all be basically made up for media attention, which undeniably is working. So who is Dide? Well, he's a young man almost certainly from London and with ties to its southern boroughs who raps about love, life and being a Premier League footballer. But it's worth keeping in mind though that Snoop Dogg often raps about being an actual dog, which is of course not the reality. Given the success he's enjoyed in such a short space of time though, fueled as much by his music as the speculation around it, it's debatable whether it's ever going to be beneficial for Dide to unmask. The curiosity has gotten everyone's attention, and in music as much as in football, giving yourself the correct platform to play on is half the battle anyway. So watch this space, I guess.